Welcome to The Process. It is Wednesday, April 21st. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down a 12-game NBA slate. I don't mind that it's 12 games. I mind that I'm on live before lock tonight because 12 games is a chore. It is so much. You will inevitably have to redo your lineups multiple times. There's no way around it. Late swap is going to happen. And that's just a lot to deal with. I don't want it. I want two separate 6-gamers. I wish they started at like 1 and 7. But that doesn't matter for right now because right now is easy. We're just going to work our way through it. Work's work. I don't mind. I'm a little nervous for tonight. 12 games is a lot. I'm anxious to see how this slate builds. I'm anxious to see if there's anybody that really becomes a big value play, because if they don't, then it's just going to be 100 guys that look the same. So we'll see where we end up there. I hope everybody had a good Tuesday slate. I see a lot of coffee cups out in the chat. A lot of people showing up for the morning. 30 people, 20 likes. The early peeps, man, that's the ratio. I love it. I had a couple bullets that were live last night. I got 4 into the top 1%, which is always going to be something that I'm happy with. I got 1 into the top 100 on FanDuel. Only got to, I think, the 80s, but I can't complain too much because Awesemo.com users banged out first and second, so it was nice to see the logo at the top again. I assume we'll be seeing those in the Hall of Fame segment either today or tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I hope everybody had a good night, though. 420, a little tiring, but we'll be all right. I'm dragging a little bit, but what can you do? I think we need to just dive into this. We've got 12 games. I'm going to have to do a lot here. I'm sure there's a lot of news. So let's start it off the only way that we know how. Cheers to everybody. Grab your coffees. Joints for yesterday probably, but certainly don't be afraid to have it today. Siggies, whatever you got for the morning. It's going to be a long one. Let's buckle up. Let's get some coffee into the bloodstream. I think it's going to be very necessary. Cheers, everybody. Alrighty, let's get this going. That's really starting to get annoying. All right, music is on. Chat is ready. Let's do this bad boy. First game up, Atlanta Hawks. Ooh, want to take it to the $1,500 DK contest on $26. That's not too shabby. Good work, King Hope. Ooh, I'm going to burp. I can't get it free. It's stuck in my gut. All right, here we go. Atlanta Hawks. Gallo, Q-Tag, hasn't played in quite a long time. I got to close out other things, too. Why do I have my Sims open? Actually, no. Cancel. Data. Delete. And delete. There we go. Is Gallo going to play? That's really the biggest question here. Because he doesn't. He has not played. He's played 1 game out of the last 7. So I'm going to assume that he is not playing on the back-to-back unless there's a blurb on here that says that he's close. Yeah, I just feels like he's not coming back for this back-to-back in the second half of the back-to-back on the road. It just feels unlikely. So I'm going to treat it like yesterday was the same, and we're going to keep moving forward. John Collins did see more minutes. Now, John Collins, it wouldn't surprise me if he sat on the back-to-back, but can't really prepare for that right now. Solomon Hill got 29 minutes last night. Most of this looks like it's going to be fine. Actually, let's bump 2 minutes there. Let's do something like that. No. Wait. That. There we go. Bad at math. Okay, I think this works. Jerry ended up not doing pizza. Went with the pulled pork Sammys instead. Took me a little bit longer getting home from my haircut yesterday, so didn't have time to make any dough. Gonna make some pizzas this weekend, though. Been long enough. I don't have anything else to look at for Atlanta, and I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. This is, again, a 12-game slate. We've got 5 games locking at 7, so Nernas Greg and I are going to be in for a hell of a chunk of news from 6 to 7. That is just going to be brutal. Although, in a weird way, that makes the slate a little bit more manageable because there's only 7 games after that. The swaps could be a little bit easier once you lock in 5. But spending time on Atlanta seems like a bit of a fool's errand. We know against New York it's going to be tough. So Clint Capella, 8,900 on FanDuel, 8,900 on DraftKings, looks solid. The pace of this spot, though, really, really slows things down. Trae Young, 9,500 and 9,200. Those are the only 2 pieces you're getting to from Atlanta. And we got to remember here, pretty much everybody's going to look either meh or just not be available for this slate. The amount of guys on a 12-game slate that I'm going to say, like, these are good plays, it should be like 15 at best. So there's going to be a lot of teams where I don't really have someone that I should really recommend. These teams will have guys that can get rostered, but like actual priorities, guys that can separate from the pack today, it's going to be minimal. All right, on to Brooklyn now. Salvaged last night. I didn't think they were getting there from a scoring perspective early. Picked up quite a bit late. So we've got Brooklyn. And for the Nets, Q tag on Kevin Durant. I can't imagine he's going to be playing today with a thigh contusion on the back-to-back. So that's just a fake Q tag. Claxton, on the other hand, I'm just going to assume is also still out from health and safety protocols. Don't get the sense that Blake would play on the back-to-back. Oh, Keith, that's awesome, man. Congrats. Congrats. Glad that worked out. So I think we're going to see the same rotation as yesterday, just that there won't be a Blake Griffin. Blake hasn't played any back-to-backs. So in order to take him out, we're going to have to bump up some other minutes. Alize Johnson's still seeing some time. Jeff Green's going to have to see more at the 4, which should make DeAndre Jordan see a little bit more run, potentially. So I'm going to give him 24. Jeff Green played 32 minutes last night, and I see no reason that that's not what he does today. So we'll give him 8. Hopefully you get there, Robert. Hopefully you get there. Yeah, Jeff Green was balling last night. Give an extra 2 minutes to Alize Johnson. Who can really pick this time up, though? That's a tricky spot. I guess TLC maybe picks up a little bit of additional run. Joe Harris plays more at the 4, which I don't like, but they don't really have the bodies. I think they only have 8. Do they have 8 guys for tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the Nets, if all of these Q tags, which I assume they aren't active, then the Nets have 8 guys for tonight. That's just something everybody I think needs to be aware of. To talk through that a little bit on the show today. Yeah, like, and really, like, Alize Johnson is the only legitimate power forward option. If Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan are the only two center options. So, JC, yes, that the MMA promo code is just for MMA. UFC 261 just covers our premium MMA package. I think Alize Johnson might actually have to play a couple extra minutes. So I'm going to give him 18. And we're going to go. Speaking of that MMA promo, JC, right underneath your message. Yeah, so Landry Shamet is just going to play like 34 minutes today, which is wild. All right, so those are the 8 guys that are in, and I still have 8 minutes left over. I think this is really important for Brooklyn. I wish it was a slightly different matchup against Toronto, but I don't really know who can get this time or who I expect to. I mean, I guess Kyrie's been playing 37 minutes a game. Is that just going to happen again? It appears that it is. But that still leaves me 7 over. Who's going to get the extra time? Because they're not going to play Blake on the back-to-back. I don't think. I mean, Bruce Brown seems to be limited to about 30 minutes. Shamet seems like the guy that could actually get the additional run, but I can't go 34. I can't go more than 34 there. Jose Styles, though, but I mean, even in times where they've needed Bruce Brown to play a ton of minutes, like 30 seems to be his kind of cap, especially if he hasn't been starting. I think maybe TLC getting to 26 is probably viable. Honestly, I think the real answer is probably DeAndre Jordan. I'm taking him to 26 just because I don't know what else to do. Those minutes have to go somewhere, and he is one of the few guys that can actually play that position for them. So right there, I'm at 237, and then I'm using Blake as a catch-all for my final 3 minutes because I don't want to just give them to anybody specific right now. And I assume that we can get by with most of these rates, but at the same time, taking Blake off might actually matter. Now, it can't matter. These rates have to be what they are from yesterday. There's no change because Blake is neutral. All right, so for Brooklyn, I'm going to be very, very, very heavy on Kyrie Irving here. 9,400 on FanDuel, 9,900 on DraftKings. Like I mentioned out of the gate, there aren't going to be a lot of people that I am really pushing to the top. Kyrie Irving is one of them. To me, he looks like an absolutely no doubt about it play. If I take off Harden and Durant and LeVert and Allen and Prince and Blake, which is basically like everybody that has a pulse. Kyrie Irving in that time, 34.5% usage rate, 1.47 FanDuel points per minute. Kyrie Irving is the play today. I love it. 9,400. That is absolutely where I'm going. I don't care how high I am on Kyrie. That's the spot today. Kind of has to be. On to the Chicago Bulls. What do we got going for the Bulls? Obviously, still no Levine. Looks like 3 more games. Doubtful tag on Troy Brown, though. That is important because he has been seeing, 20 minutes a game or something in that neighborhood at the very least. Did I do anything here? Doesn't appear so. Doesn't matter. All right, so let's take Troy Brown's minutes out. They can go pretty much anywhere, but for the first time in a while, these guys have been running a pretty normal rotation. Now, Archie Diacono on the random game that Satoransky ended up out. SMP, I wouldn't say that Kyrie was a major disappointment. Can you go for 50? I mean, it's 50% owned. Eh, 44, 4.7. Look, he was a disappointment, but on a 5-game slate, not the best. I agree with you though. He underperformed, but he probably hit like his 45th percentile. So pretty much did exactly what you expected. No, like De'Aaron Fox was a major disappointment yesterday. Kyrie basically hit his mark. I think that's probably the better way to look at it. So I'm assuming Ryan Arcidiacono just does this same thing for Satoransky. They could kind of do the same thing with any random other people, but I think that's the direction I want to go in just giving these minutes to Archie. So, and I do think that Satoransky could also soak up a little bit of that. So I'm just going to slot those in now. Tice at 24 minutes. It appears that needs to be a bigger number. But who is the sacrificial lamb here? Because certainly not Vooch. I think Kobe White's minutes look fine. Denzel Valentine, Garrett Temple's higher now. So maybe they're not going to go to as much to Archie as I thought they would. Or Satoransky just continues to play minimal minutes. That's also certainly possible. So let's take 4 away there, or 2 away there. We'll take 2 away from Archie. That opens me up 4. That allows me to go 2 more to Daniel Tice. And I'm going to do 2 more to Garrett Temple. Chicago at Cleveland. Everything else here I think should be good right now. You know what? I do want to see what Vooch's usage rate is so far without Levine, now that we got a much bigger sample. So Vooch with no Zach Levine on the floor. 29.2% usage. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on that, and I was a little surprised to see that it hasn't been climbing, but it hasn't been climbing. So that's where we stand for right now. Chicago Bulls. And by the way, I didn't touch on it from Brooklyn before, but like DeAndre Jordan on DraftKings at 4K, I think looks like a really nice play. Landry Shamet as well across both sites. Joe Harris. Because of the minute situation, you're going to get to a lot more Brooklyn, but for real, Kyrie Irving is the guy. Crispy, what's up? All right, for the Bulls, Vooch is the only one to get to a range where you're probably going to have him in a player pool pretty heavily. Kobe White's price is coming up. Still looks fine. Tice is an okay value play. Garrett Temple is an okay value play. Nobody jumping to the top of the heap yet. So Atlanta, Brooklyn, Chicago. And Atlanta, Brooklyn, Chicago. Make that 90. Perfect. So, like I said, look at the separation here. Kyrie, of the 3 teams we've looked at right now, on FanDuel, Kyrie is 10 points better relative to salary than everybody. And he's 7 points better than everybody. So Kyrie is the first part of the core. By the way, I started working on the teardrops. Might be some struggle. If any of you guys have any familiarity with clustering algorithms and setting up a script, don't be afraid to reach out. Josh at Awesemo.com. I could hook you up with something. I'll happily pay. Alrighty. On to Cleveland. So Cleveland playing Chicago. Cleveland at home. What do we got going on for Cleveland here? Larry Nance in, which is actually really important. How many minutes he plays is sort of up in the air. let's say Nance is back playing, what, 20, 24? I mean, he's not going to play a lot. Obviously, Chetty is not going to be seeing any time. Not that he had been. So how do I get Larry Nance 20 minutes? Where will they come from? Dean Wade is the likely scenario. But even when Nance was back, like, I guess Dean Wade did get the DNP CD there. Who's getting the haircut? Hartenstein got it in one of the games, which makes sense. I mean, he should get it in all of the games. But I guess I only need to find 6 minutes here. They're not coming from Taurean Prince. So we're going to knock him down to 12. So there's really just no way, unless we assume Kevin Love is going to start playing less minutes. Like, Larry Nance is just going to have to play some at the 3. Otherwise, they've got 96 minutes to split between Jared Allen, Isaiah Hartenstein, Kevin Love, and Larry Nance. Like, that is an actual statement. Larry Nance should be playing more minutes at the 5 than he should be playing at the 3. But for him to play more, he has to. Or Jared Allen plays less, I guess, which to me doesn't make a ton of sense. But maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's what gets me to Larry Nance at 20 minutes. You got to pay close attention to those Cleveland rotations. Let's see. I don't get the sense we're going to be liking much from Cleveland one way or the other. So I'm not going to put too much time into hashing that out. So for Cleveland, yeah, so like as you guys can see, like nobody's cresting the positives here. 15% chance to boom for Kevin Love or Jared Allen. So I don't really have anything really recommended for Cleveland. Let's get to Dallas now. Maybe that'll look a little bit different. So for the Mavs, Tim Hardaway Jr. questionable, Tyrell Terry out. None of that matters. Well, Tim Hardaway Jr. being questionable matters, but it's not something that matters for right now. At home against the Pistons, very important piece of information there, taking on the Pistons. If Hardaway is out, I think we just see like JJ Redick pick up some additional run. I don't think they'll have much issue getting to any of those guys. Let's see. By the way, 90 viewers, 50 likes, so just shy of both of them. I appreciate that ratio, but please don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up. All right, Luka at 36 minutes. Is that too many? No, it's not. Well, it could be because of who they play. I am going to take one away from him. We'll get JJ up a little bit further. Porzingis at 34. Is that fine? Yeah, that looks fine. DFS at 34. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so Mavs should be fine. And in no surprise here, there are 2 guys that we're focused on. One is Luka Doncic, 11K on FanDuel, 10-8 on DraftKings. He's going to be behind Kyrie Irving by a considerable amount, but he is still obviously a guy that you're trying to play, and that makes perfect sense. He has a ceiling. And then Porzingis, 8,300 on FanDuel, 9K on DraftKings. 8,300 for Porzingis looks really good on FanDuel. I'm going to go 3 teams at a time. So once we finish Denver here, I'll add them back into the full list, and we can sort of get the idea of what that real top tier is. So on the Nuggets, they're on the road, taking on Portland. Portland on that back-to-back. We know no Monty Morris for a pretty extended time now with that injured hamstring. Austin Rivers, though, a member of the team, which I need to add him. Let's do that now. Austin Rivers to Denver. Team name. Because I think Austin Rivers is going to get some run for the Nugs now. Like, more than a little bit eventually, too. It doesn't seem like they really want it to go. Like, Shaq Harrison got 17 minutes, but I think they're going to be more likely to give it to Austin Rivers. We shall see, though. All right, so Jokic's minutes seem perfectly reasonable. I don't really have anything to change there. And he's going to pop up as a nice play, as is Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon, though, those minutes are coming down. So we'll put him in at 28. I'll make that 4. Got MPJ at 34. So we've got 12 minutes to find for random peeps. Actually, Marcus Howard's minutes need to go away. So we've got 21 minutes here. Dozier got 37, but that's OT, right? Double OT? Yeah. So even if so that would be 27. So I think keeping him at 26 is fine. Hey, talking about Gordon's minutes, I don't think there's a benefit to giving him those minutes right now. I mean, we think about how injury prone-ish Aaron Gordon has been. Knowing that you've already lost Jamal Murray, I think like dialing it back a little bit on him is probably a little bit safer for right now. I expect Aaron Gordon to be playing a little bit more run. And look, honestly, like they still have to get JaVale McGee, they still have to get JaMychal Green out on the floor. They still need to keep Paul Millsap loose. So he's in a position to get rolled back right now. All right, Campazzo. I actually think Facundo Campazzo's minutes can get rolled back. I want to see how much he played in that double OT game. If he played both overtimes, that's important. He did. Okay, so he played 25 minutes in regulation. I think that matters. I'm going to take him to 26. I'm going to put Austin Rivers at 14. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Now, you know what? I'm going to go 28 on Campazzo, 14. We'll say 6 and 28. Why does it feel like it's PJ Dozier season? I hope it never feels like it's PJ Dozier season, but it just might be. All right, does Shaq Harrison stay in the rotation or does Vlatko stay in the rotation? I think it's probably more likely to be Shaq Harrison than Vlatko, honestly. But at the same time, I think it could go either direction. I'm going to give these minutes to Shaq Harrison. So let's see what Denver looks like. This is basically a two-man race here. So for the Denver Nuggets, we've got two guys at the top of the heap. Nikola Jokic, positive 5.6 on FanDuel, plus basically 8 on DK. He's 11.3 on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. And then Michael Porter Jr., 7,400 and 7,900. Those are the two guys I'm looking at most. Thought PJ Dozier would pop a little bit more. He just doesn't appear to be. So if I add in the next three teams that we looked at, Cleveland, Dallas, and Denver. Ghetto Farmer Boy asking me about the European Super League as a Liverpool fan. I am in the minority of everyone else. Everybody was not happy. I'm indifferent. These teams are billion-dollar enterprises. They are always going to make their decisions in order to increase their revenues. This is going to happen in the future. It is undeniably going to happen. The way that it happens will be more important. I don't think that this plan that was set in place is the way that it was going to work in the best way, but rest assured, this will happen in the future. Money talks always. All right, so we've got Kyrie still at the top. To put it in perspective, I have Nikola Jokic a full 6 points relative to salary behind Kyrie Irving. I have Nikola Jokic like 2.5 points behind him on DraftKings. Luka even further back. So I'm still Team Kyrie till I die today. And then Jokic and Doncic and Porter are the guys at the top. And you guys can see the delineation here. All right, keeping it moving. Detroit Pistons. I assume I have to redo this entire rotation. By the way, 100 viewers, 56 likes. We're starting to lose out on that ratio. If you guys could hit that thumbs up a little bit, I would not be mad at you guys at all. Not at all. All right, Pistons. So DSJ doubtful, but everybody else is in except for Killian Hayes. So everything is just getting deleted, and I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that I can figure this out. So we'll start with Mason Plumlee at center, who played 16 minutes in the return on the 17th, but I assume that was just because they stunk. So I'm going to say Mason Plumlee plays 24. I'm going to say Isaiah Stewart plays 24. Money will always talk. Doesn't matter where it is. That's going to happen sooner than later. It's all about how it affects the domestic leagues. I got to take 30 seconds for this. I can't help it. Here's my expectation. Here's how I think it's going to ultimately end up. We are going to end up with a super league at the top. And I think that it's going to cause us to reimagine what the domestic league actually looks like. I think that it will put an increased importance on domestic cups. And I think that they'll just have to be slightly more inclusive to the amount of teams that could rotate in and out of the Super League. But I think that the Super League will eventually be at the top of the pyramid. The individual countries will flow into it. As long as there's a better mechanism of moving up and down, I think that will increase the interest in national cups. But I mean, TV rights are TV rights. And when you're able to sell the rights for home and homes, for City and PSG and the Spanish teams, so Barcelona and Real Madrid and Liverpool, like when you can sell those rights, that's a problem. Their money will talk always. All right, Corey Joseph's going to be back in. I got to get back to this now. I'm giving Corey Joseph 30 minutes. We're going to give Saban Lee backup run. Oh God, Sadiq Bey. I mean, this team is close to impossible here. Jeremy Grant playing 32 minutes, I guess, feels about right. Tyler Cook playing backup 4 works. Hamidou Diallo just plays 20 minutes a night. It doesn't seem to matter. We do need an office hours for Super League. Probably not a bad idea. All right, Josh Jackson 26, Wayne Ellington 16. I fucking still got to give Frank Jackson minutes. This whole team sucks. I hate it. Frank Jackson, how many minutes did he play recently? I mean, he got down to 18 when everybody was back. We'll give him 18 now. That gives me 16 for Sadiq Bey, so clearly that doesn't work. Who the hell am I supposed to take minutes from? All right, Tyler Cook, I guess. That gets me to 22. I mean, this is comical. 14 for Saban Lee. Let's do something like that. We're not playing Detroit is really the moral of the story. No matter how I jerk these numbers around. Do I still have Jeremy Grant's usage in there? No, I don't. All right, Jeremy Grant's usage rate this season. Um, 28. So let's just lock that in now. Josh Jackson, 26. Most of these guys I just assume are going to stand where they are. So we're not, here's the deal. Look, you can see it on the screen right now. We're not really playing anything from Detroit. It's just not there. All that time to figure out the rotation and it doesn't even matter. Don't play them. That's the moral of the story. Golden State Warriors. No James Wiseman. Q tag on Damian Lee. No Juan Toscano Anderson. No Eric Paschall. So, at the very least, we know what we're doing here. Yeah, but if I'm taking minutes from Plumlee, they're just going to Isaiah Stewart. Like, they're not splitting that up in any different way. So Draymond at 36, Kevon Looney. I give 30. So we need, Draymond. I'm gonna give Draymond 34. Oubre back, played 22 minutes. So I'm gonna bump that up a little bit. We'll give him 26. Who else do we need to give minutes to? Michael Mulder's got his minutes in. Do something like this. Let's give Michael Mulder a rotation. Jordan Poole to 18 minutes. That leaves me 11 minutes. Is there anybody that I need to just give a bunch of minutes? Damian Lee, I guess, if he plays. Takes them 20. And then whoever the last person here is isn't going to matter all that much. Kent Bazemore played 14 minutes that last game. Jesus. I mean, who's going to get these minutes? Nico Mannion, maybe? No. Anybody playing more? Wiggins, 36 instead, I guess. Who the hell is going to play these 10 minutes? They've been running a 9-man rotation. But they're all over the place. Damian Lee plays 30 minutes one day, 13 the next, 23 the game before that. All over the map. I don't like it. All right, so we're going to give 2 there, 8 there. None of that matters. Those guys aren't playable. Okay, so we're going to be playing some Golden State Warriors here. Golden State Warriors are on the road, 2-point favorites, 239 total against the Wizards. So Steph, for once in my life, actually looks good. Looks really good on both sides, 10-2 and 10-5. I think Looney and Wiggins and Draymond are all very much a part of this. So I'm going to add them to the table just to look at it quick. I know that's only 2 instead of 3, but I think we want to get the perspective here. So we see Steph, look, still close to Kyrie, but I would rather have Kyrie and save the money. A lot closer on DraftKings. But we're looking at Kyrie, Curry, Jokic, Doncic, Wiggins, Looney, DeAndre Jordan, Draymond Green, Porter, and Shamet. That's probably like the core right now. And I would say that core is like here right now. Kevon Looney looking solid for today. Gotta say. Decent value center if he's playing 30 minutes a game. Houston Rockets, cool. This should be a treat. What do we got going on for the Rockets? Who's out? All right, so John Wall's playing. Still no House, Gordon, Brown. Shouts to Sterling Brown, man. They got assaulted outside of a club. Or outside of something, at the very least. Not good. Nwaba, DJ Augustine. So I guess everything is just going to look pretty normal for Houston. Give me 1 second. Got to let my dog into my bedroom. I don't know how long he was sitting there crying, but I feel bad for him. That dude just wanted to get in bed. Boob, there's a 0% chance that Steph Curry should win the MVP. That's disgusting. It's just because he's made a lot of threes for 2 weeks. It's gross. Nikola Jokic is having one of the most legendary offensive seasons in the history of basketball. People just want things to talk about. These talking heads are morons. I'm one of them. All right. Armani Brooks is just playing more. So there's that. Wall at 34 seems fine. Tate's minutes seem fine. You could really kind of go anywhere you want on this team right now, which is not fun. But I think most of that looks okay. Because we're going to have a couple guys we like here from Houston. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be looking at a couple guys here for the Houston Rockets. Rockets are taking on the Jazz. So obviously a terrible matchup, but just from a price perspective and a role perspective, John Wall, Kelly Olynyk, Christian Wood, FanDuel, John Wall, Kelly Olynyk, Christian Wood all look solid. Oh yeah, Boob, I understand. He should not be in consideration to win the MVP. I think that like that's ludicrous. John Wall for 7,700 on DraftKings too. Not too shabby. Tough matchup though against Utah. Absolutely. God, there's so many teams left. All right, Indiana Pacers, which I'm quite confident is terrible. Q tag on McBuckets. No Sabonis. Q tag on Lamb. Q tag on Goga. TJ Warren clearly still out. O'Shea Brissett got a contract. Miles Turner out. Oh man, what are we doing here for the Indiana Pacers? So we need McBuckets to play. We need Goga to play. How I know Goga left and didn't come back. Oh man. So I think that we have to project Goga to be in. I gotta gut everything here. When we got to start Indiana from scratch. That goes without saying. So I don't see a way out of the look. Goga Batadze's got to play. Like if he's playing, we can't guess on a Goga Q tag right now. That would allow. I got to add O'Shea Brissett. Where are you hiding, O'Shea? Toronto, of course you are. This is, I mean, something. There's got to be value here for Indiana, right? Look, Boob, I've been saying it for the beginning of the season. The guy that people should be looking at on Utah is Rudy Gobert. He's doing the same thing that Steph does offensively, but defensively. He is the entire defensive identity for the number one team in the league right now. I don't know what to do with this Indiana team. This is gross. Okay. So let's fill in the guys that we know are going to be playing. Malcolm Brogdon, I think to me, is going to have to see like 33 minutes. And then we're going to get TJ McConnell playing something in the low 20s. And Karis LeVert, to me, is going to need to play 32 minutes if they're planning for this. That's because dumb people make these things, Boob. Nobody wants to rely on defensive metrics, even though they're out there. Rudy Gobert, to me, is a top 5 MVP candidate for this year. It's not a postseason award. Rudy Gobert is having an absolutely stellar regular season. I would probably be like, oh God, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Jokic, Embiid, Gobert, Giannis, LeBron, something in that neighborhood. Depends on how long LeBron ends up being out. I'm probably missing somebody off the top of my head. I would have to go look at some advanced stats. But Jokic, to me, unquestioned one. So the rest of the discussion doesn't matter. I guess Giannis missed a chunk of time too. I'm having trouble keeping track of how much time everybody's been out. It shouldn't be Mitchell, that much I could tell you. Mitchell would be third on the Jazz for me, behind Conley and Gobert. Mike, you're making it sound like MVP should be the offensive player of the year, which is not at all what it is. Most valuable player doesn't have to come from a specific side of the ball. Oh my God. I don't know what to do with this Indiana team. This is really difficult. Is Justin Holiday really playing limited minutes recently? Yeah. McBucket's played 18. I need him to play like 30 something. So this is just going to be like O'Shea Brissett season, right? Like he's going to be the guy. O'Shea Brissett is 6'7", taking on Oklahoma City. So the key piece with Oklahoma City is that anybody here for Indiana can play whatever. So let's say that Jakar Sampson is just going to have to play a pretty sizable chunk of run. I'm going to give O'Shea Brissett 24 minutes. So that's 6 guys. McBucket's played 18 2 nights ago, but if he's in, I just don't see a way that he's... I got to give him 20 at least. So that's 7 guys. So we still have Lamb, Holiday, and Holiday. So just Aaron Holiday, I got it 16. I think Justin Holiday finally actually just has to be back out on the court for more time. So I'm going to give him 28. And that leaves me 23 for Jeremy Lamb, who didn't play the last game. Is he available? Jeremy Lamb. Q tag on Lamb. What time is this game? Okay. Good news is this game is at 7 o'clock. So we'll have this information. So I don't care nearly as much as I did before. So let's give... let's do that. I can't give Jeremy Lamb 23 minutes. So we'll give 18 to Aaron Holiday and 21 to Jeremy Lamb. All of the rates should be right, though, because I already made the changes for those guys being off the floor. Oh, God. All right, so for Indiana, look, if Goga plays, he's 5,400 on FanDuel and 4,200 on DraftKings. He's a very popular play today if Goga is in. They don't have the options. He's going to play 26 minutes. Malcolm Brogdon looks good on both sites. Karis LeVert doesn't. O'Shea Brissett is a value option, but a pretty low option. That is not ideal. Let's add Houston and Indy just to get an idea of where Goga lines up. So Goga is 4th on DraftKings right now. Basically, he and Jokic can be flip-flopped. They're pretty close relative to salary, 0.7 of a point. I could close that gap without really tweaking anything. We're starting to see a real clear delineation of top 5. And then on FanDuel, Goga is just sort of in this pack of solid value options, but not separating into the Kyrie, Steph, Jokic tier. By the way, 130 free viewers, 82 likes. Can we get that number up over 100 people? That would be great. Look, keep a close eye on Indiana. We've got Deeper Dive and Live Before Lock and everything coming up later today. That game is at 7, so we don't have to sweat it too much. On to the Clips. Is this worse? No Bev, no Kawhi, no Serge, no Rondo. This one should be easy. So this should just be... Wait, did Rondo get hurt yesterday? Oh, back-to-back for rest. Has Rondo not been playing back-to-backs? He just played a back-to-back. He didn't play that one. I don't think. All right, it doesn't. If Rondo plays on the back-to-back, great. If he doesn't, those minutes are going to Yogi Ferrell, so it really doesn't matter at all. We saw Terrence Mann get the start last night, play 24 minutes. I am not all that worried about that, but I do need to give him at least a little bit of additional run. I think that I could take at least 2 minutes from Nick Batum to give him his 24. Boogie played 13 minutes. That's fun. Pat played 14. Zubac played 27. Kennard played less than I thought he would. But I don't really think that I have anything else that I want to change. Maybe give Boogie a little bit of additional run. But I think Batum at 28. I mean, maybe Marcus Morris. No, Marcus Morris getting 32 seems fine to me. This is going to be the Paul George show again. At home, taking on Memphis. Paul George, 9,400 on FanDuel, 9,300 on DraftKings. And Paul George is going to be tied with Kyrie on DK. So we had Kyrie really separated from the pack. Not so fast, my friend. So Paul George is now the number 2 play on the slate on FanDuel. Passes Curry, and pretty clearly as well. But Paul George and Kyrie Irving, that is the 2-man combination you're looking for on DraftKings tonight. I think those are the 2 best guys that we've seen so far. They are on a very different tier. And the real good news is, at least mildly good news, I guess. Nope, that Clippers game is at 10 o'clock. There's no good news there. I thought they were on the road. They're not. Memphis is on the road. Taking on the Clippers. I'm sure this one looks terrible too. How many Q tags are here? All right, so Dylan Brooks questionable. No Joe Val. Q tag on Jaren Jackson. Now, he's going to take a while to get back in, but it's exciting to see him slowly working his way back. I'm just going to scratch all of this run for Memphis and figure it out here. So Tillman played 42 minutes in the double overtime affair. Don't get the sense that's going to happen again. So I'm going to give him 26. We're going to give Brandon Clark the straight backup 22. I'm going to give Jaren Jackson 20 minutes, which hopefully he plays. I'm really excited to see this dude get back. We'll give Kyle Anderson those 28. Justice Winslow is back. He played 18. That works. DeAnthony Melton played a shit ton of minutes for reasons that are unknown to me. I'm going to give 28 minutes here to Grayson Allen. I'm going to give 28 minutes here to Dylan Brooks. That leaves me 22 additional minutes for Desmond Bane, who has not been playing all that much, and for DeAnthony Melton. I don't know where to take those minutes from at this point. Is it just Tyus Jones? Is that the tricky spot here? It might just be. It might just be. Take him to 8. And then we'll go 6 and 14. 6 and 2. I think that's just going to have to work. Yeah, that should be fine. All these rates should basically be the same. So for Memphis, tough matchup. Ja Morant, 6,800 on FanDuel, 7,200 on DraftKings. It's the only person we're playing from Memphis right now until we get a little bit more word. We got so many more teams to go. On to Miami. Miami taking on the Spurs. Oof. Obviously, no Oladipo, Butler Q tag, Bam Q tag, Hero Q tag, Deadman Q tag. I think since they're not on a back-to-back, we just sort of have to assume that everybody that was out is back. So I think that we see Dragic play 24 minutes. I think we see like Kendrick Nunn play 24 minutes, at least for right now. SMP. There are 3 games at 10 o'clock. Nuggets, Blazers, Wolves, Kings again. So you'll have plenty of things that you could swap off of for Paul George. All right, Miami center, 33 minutes going to Bam. Backup run going to Dwayne Dedman. 20 minutes for Iggy. 28 minutes for Ariza. 34 minutes for Butler. Wow, Tyler Hero's just losing minutes left and right. 24 for Hero. And then anybody could really get these final 8. I will give 2 more to Kendrick Nunn just in case. And then 6 to KZ Okpala. Sure. Doesn't matter. Rates all seem fine. I haven't deleted anybody's stuff, so everything that was there should be there. Don't get the sense that we're getting to a lot of Miami. No surprises. Bam and Jimmy. That's it. But really, just to me, only Bam. And even then, not really. Not the spot today. Too many other good spots to go to Miami. Like, for example, the Minnesota Timberwolves were in the exact same matchup they were in yesterday. I liked these dudes a lot. D'Angelo Russell started to shoot the ball pretty well, which was nice. Q-tag on Jalen Noel. I'm not going to make any changes to this rotation. At least I don't think that I am. I think everything that's here should be here. Maybe Tyler Hero should have waited to be good first. Everybody was too busy thinking he was good in the bubble when he wasn't. Yeah, I don't really have any changes to make here for this Minnesota team. So we're doing the same thing we did yesterday for Minnesota against Sacramento. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns are at the top of the heap. D'Angelo Russell for 6,100 on DraftKings is somebody that you need to look at, especially if he's playing. If he's not playing, keep that in mind. He has played back-to-backs, though, so I assume that he is. Dave, man, sorry to hear about that. Happy to have you, obviously, but sorry to hear about your mom. That's a bummer, man. So I hope things are good for you and your family. Add everybody back in here. Memphis, Miami. Ooh, and Minnesota. Memphis, Miami, Minnesota. Memphis, Miami, Minnesota. Yeah, so nothing too crazy. We don't have anybody popping up too high. Still have a pretty solid 4-person core on FanDuel. DK looking more like 6. Woo. All right. Keeping it moving. Are we at the bottom yet? Nope. All right. 2 more and I can just free scroll, which is nice. To the Knicks we go. This should be a great treat. Need more coffee. Alec Burks Q tag, but I'm leaving him out since he's been out, which means that this rotation is just going to be the same. 38 minutes for Randall feels right, but I'm actually going to go to 39 just because. Reggie Bullock, I want to give some additional time to as well. 34 for Barrett. Now we'll give one more. Morning, David. A lot of Daves here. All right. Probably not paying too much of the Knicks, but they do have some value here. $5,800 RJ Barrett on FanDuel looks pretty good. Reggie Bullock for $3,800, not too shabby. 10K Randall is a play, but it's a tough sell. Same guys look okay on DraftKings. There you go. That's all you can do, Dave. That's all you can do. Decent spot for the Knicks, but price tags are just a problem. Cool. Oklahoma City. I'm sure they don't have anything weird going on. Jerry, I don't think that I could name the teams. I would mess up trying to name them in alphabetical order. Dort Q tag. I assume Dort is playing though. Lou Dort, hip, tank, questionable. I'm going to assume that Dort plays. I think we have to. So if we do assume that, we want to give Ty Jerome those minutes. We're going to say Svi plays 24. 26 for Moses Brown, 22 for Tony Bradley. Is that reasonable? Probably not. Moses Brown not getting that sort of run. So I'm going to go 24, 20. Roby just out again? Did I miss that? Yeah, just no Roby. Okay, so then I do feel a little bit better about 26 and 22. Because when Roby's not there, I mean, they went 20, 16. They go Baisley at the 5? Must have. Baisley played 38 minutes. I don't think they're long for that idea. But I also don't want to go to 26 here. So I'm going to go 24, 22. And we'll do something like that. So that leaves me 36 additional minutes. We'll give 30 to Dort. 6 more to Horde. Do I have Dort's usage rate still in there? No. All right, so Lou Dort. Is it going to be Lou Dort season today against Indiana? So we need no Shea, no Horford, no Roby. Who are we missing? Diallo will take off since he's definitely not getting on there. But that takes Lou Dort up to a crisp 30% usage. Well, we're not doing that, but I am going to 25. Dude's going to shoot. Don't think that I need to touch any other rates. Maladon also sees that bump, but his rates are all going to be the same. Does Baisley do anything even weirder? I'll take Baisley to 24. So for Oklahoma City tonight, I think there's a lot of value here. Maladon, Pogashevsky, Baisley, Moses Brown, all in FanDuel are viable options. Dort's in play, but too expensive. 7K Dort you don't have to worry about on DraftKings. At least I hope you don't. Tony Bradley's kind of a problem today. There we go. We're on the full scroll down now. On to Philly. And we're over 100 likes, so kudos to you guys. Q tag on Ben Simmons. Q tag on Tobias Harris. Cool. That seems fun. Scratching the entire Philly rotation. Embiid 33 minutes. Dwight Howard 15. Philly's taking on Phoenix too at home, so you know you kind of want them to have everybody in. 34 minutes to Tobias Harris. 28 minutes to Seth Curry. We've got George Hill here now. Played 17 and a half minutes the first time out. I'm going to give him 16. We'll give Shake Milton 16. Mike Scott back up 4 run. 34 minutes for Ben Simmons. The rest of this should fill itself in. Danny Green, pretty consistently 28. That leaves me just a couple extra minutes for the Cork man. Oh, that leaves me out of the Thibault industry, which is something. I don't know who's going to play then. I guess Shake is going to be the guy that starts losing time. Probably. Ooh, okay. I guess maybe Curry goes to 26, 6, 8. Maybe Korkmaz is the guy that gets wrecked here. Do something like that. I don't know. It won't matter. I'll take Cork. Bang, bang. Do that. Oh, God. Here we go. All right, everybody. Buckle up. Great show, Dave. Great show. All right, Philly. Even in a matchup, like in a tough spot against Phoenix, Ben Simmons is down to 6,900. I like him on FanDuel. I don't want to say that I love him, but I like him. He's a part of the tight core. Not tight core. Like he's a like top 15, 20 play for me. Embiid looks solid as well. It's just going to be hard to prioritize him over some of the other centers in this spot. Let's get Knicks in, OKC in, Philly in. Double R, I don't. Knicks in, OKC in, Philly in. So Ben Simmons is 13th on FanDuel. But in this pack of guys, like, there's not a lot separating anything here relative to salary. Edwards, Doncic, Maladon, Wall, Simmons, Towns, Porzingis, Baisley, Poku, they're all the same. They're all the same. Ben Simmons on FanDuel, otherwise not much else for Philly. It's a tough spot against Phoenix. There's basically a 0% chance we're recommending anything for Phoenix unless somebody's out. Cam Johnson in, Saric in. Saric got the weird start the last time out. Played like garbage. Yeah, I didn't get the sense that I would be making any changes here. This all just looks totally fine to me. I guess Saric could play a little more, but even in the start, he played 18 minutes, so I'm just going to run with this. And I assume we're not recommending anything from Phoenix? Nope, nothing. Look, Bridges, Ayton, Paul, Booker, it's not a problem. But on a 12-game slate, there's no chance that I'm going to spend any time talking about the Phoenix Suns in a matchup against Philly. Portland, Dame in, Yusuf Nurkic in, which means we got to gut this entire team, start from scratch, and change rate. So fun. If Dame's playing, he's playing. So 36 minutes for Dame. I'm going to assume that we don't see too much of Anthony Simons now. So I'm going to give 36 minutes to CJ. We're going to give 36 minutes to Norm Powell. We had Nurkic out for a game. He had been playing about 24 minutes a game before, so I'm going to put him in for 24 again. And I'm going to assume that Cantor plays the backup run then against Denver, if he can. Melo will continue to play his sort of 20 minutes or so when Dame is healthy. We'll go 22. Covington, 26. That's leaving me in a weird spot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. When Dame was healthy, how many guys were they playing? Nurkic in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-man rotation. Simon's not a part of it. That works. So let's move those 12 minutes, go to 24. That leaves me 36 minutes at the 2 and the 3. Nas Little needs 12 of them. So we have Derek Jones that could potentially get minutes. We have Robert Covington, who probably should get back up to 30. So let's move those 4. I have 20 minutes left over. I guess do we think Rondé Hollis Jefferson is just going to be in the rotation now? Because I don't know. They kind of need the Derek Jones Jr. minutes, but they also gave him, they sat him legitimately on the 18th. I don't think that that's going to be the case, so I'm going to give him 16 minutes, 4 spillovers to Simons. I'm going to assume that Rondé Hollis-Jefferson isn't playing it, but if he is, I think that those minutes that Rondé Hollis-Jefferson plays come from Cantor. And I don't think it affects anything. Rates all need to go away. Morning, Sotex. So we need Portland since the deadline, basically. And more than anything, just sort of recognizing where Norm Powell's rates are. So Norm Powell, since he's been in Portland, 21% usage rate. So I'm going to take him to 22. We're going to set CJ to 27 and Dame to 30. Shotmaster, there is no chance that I could guide you to build this spreadsheet. This has been a labor of love for 8 years or so. I wouldn't even begin to be able to start. It would take hours upon hours. Injury news at Awesemo NBA. Follow us on Twitter, but Twitter new and like NBA beat writers is the only place that I look for news. Usage rates I have all in my own database, but you can see that anywhere. Basketball Reference, Add More Funds. That's pretty much everywhere. But yeah, explaining this spreadsheet would be like a college class. Do I ever set a minimum projection in Fantasy Cruncher? Yes, but I don't think that it's necessary. All right, so I guess we're still gonna like Dame on FanDuel. I don't think it's possible not to, even coming back off the injury. Damian Lillard's 8,400. Like, no matter what you think of his health or whatever, Damian Lillard at 8,400 against the Nuggets, like a game that matters for them, you have to play Dame. He's not gonna grade out as like a crazy good play, but I don't think he's gonna get any ownership. All right, Sacramento. Only a couple more teams to go here. We're making pretty good time given 12 teams. I've basically finished my coffee, which sucks. By the way, shouts to Monkey Knife Fight for being the sponsor of this show. 100% instant deposit match bonus up to $100 now. Check the graphic. We scratched that 50 out. You can get a $100 instant deposit match bonus. Just use the promo code Awesemo. You're going to be looking at more like player props for Monkey Knife Fight. You guys should really check it out. I think it's a good idea. Maybe tomorrow, since we got a smaller slate, we could pop on over to Monkey Knife Fight and take a look at it, because I think it would be a really good idea for you guys to get in there. Look, when push comes to shove, at the very least, snag that free loot. And Jerry, the weird thing is, like, I would happily send this to everybody. It would just be useless. All of the data that pulls into this sheet exists elsewhere in databases for me. Like this framework, I could send this to everybody right now. No one would have any use for it, other than maybe like looking through the formulas to try to understand it. And even then, like if you're not well versed in Excel, you're not going to know what you're looking at. Is it a good idea to play big GPP tourney with 12 games? It's the same as it always is. There's no difference. Look, the contest is going to have, say, 90. Like if you're talking a big GPP, the contest is going to have 100,000 people in it, whether it's a 12-game slate or a 6-game slate. There's no difference. Oh, Cantor. I had to take that out of the spam thing. Because you said shit, it gets caught. I thought about just leaving it for myself and laughing and just messaging you later. All right, no Holmes, no Bagley. We did not get the Whiteside game we were looking for last night, but maybe they'll do it again. Whiteside played 24 minutes, so just didn't work out all that well. 16 minutes to Metu. That is actually interesting information to me. So I want to give him those 16 minutes. Play more Mo Harkless, I said yesterday. That worked out for people that listened. I will pat myself on the back for that one. I thought he was going underrepresented just given the amount of minutes that he could play in a matchup against Minnesota. On the other hand, De'Aaron Fox was not all that great in 27 and a half minutes. after having played 39, 39, 39, 40, and 37 over the past 5 and averaging 38. So kind of annoying. I'm going to take him to 36 just to like cool out a little bit. I'm going to give DeLon Wright an extra minute. Anybody else I need to tweak here? I don't think so. Barnes looks good at 38. I think we're good. So obviously we're going to be playing some of the Sacramento team again. I liked them a lot yesterday. Whiteside at the top of the heap, 5,400 on FanDuel. I like him. Just a value. Fox, you can still get to, but to me, he's not the same sort of play if you can't guarantee those 38 minutes, but he still looks good. And then, I like getting to Harrison Barnes at 6K on FanDuel. These guys look a lot better on FanDuel than they do on DraftKings. Let's add the rest of these teams. Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento. Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento. So the top of the heap is still the same, but nothing too crazy. Nobody's really look at how bunched up this is. These guys are all, and I'll even go here to Pogoshevsky. Everybody that I just circled on FanDuel: Goga, Morant, Wiggins, Edwards, Porter, Doncic, Maledon, Wall, Simmons, Porzingis, Towns, Baisley, Whiteside, Pogoshevsky. I think that they are all within 1 fantasy point of each other relative to salary. That's 14 different guys that I think that you can mix and match. And that's not even saying anything about dropping down an additional point. That's a tough one now. All right, 4 teams to go. We're going to make it. Yeah, Towns being 10% owned on FanDuel last night was wild. Had I known that, I probably would have had 30. All right, San Antonio Spurs. The one team that I feel like is probably going to be okay to do. Yeah, nothing to worry about here other than Trey Lyles. So I think that most of this is just going to be what it already is. I'm not making any changes. They're at home taking on the Heat, so they're not going to look good. We don't need to go any further. I don't want to say don't play anyone from San Antonio, but I assume that no one ranks in the top 40. Raptors. This one could look wild because I have no idea where they stand from an injury perspective. Lowry in, Van Vliet in, everybody in except for Rodney Hood. I'd like to say, Jerry, that I don't make any tweaks that are based on bias. I'm sure that I do, but I don't really care who showed. I don't have any vested interest in any of this stuff. So I just want it to be most accurate. And the rates are things that I don't just generally change. So it's kind of hard for that to happen for me. All right, let's try to figure out Toronto. Lowry hasn't played in ages, but he's in. I'm going to assume that he doesn't play a ton of minutes. So we'll say 32 there. I'm going to say 30 for Van Vliet, I guess. Chris Boucher has played 30 minutes the last 3 games. At the very least, I think he plays 28. And we give Kem Birch that backup run. I think Pascal Siakam playing 34 minutes seems pretty reasonable. I think OG Anunoby playing 34 minutes seems pretty reasonable. I think Gary Trent playing 32 minutes seems pretty reasonable. And then we just need to give additional minutes to Yuta Watanabe, Malachi Flynn. Sure. 2 spillover minutes can go to Freddie Gillespie at a position that doesn't matter to me. Rates can all get gutted. 20. I mean, this team is just spot on their rates. So for Toronto, nothing of value. Not on this slate. This is not going to be. Look, they're going to. You'll see some shows in the industry tonight that are recommending people and recommending people and recommending people. You have the same amount of exposure to go out that you normally do. So to be actually pushing 60, 70 different dudes, it's disgusting. I can't separate Vucevic from Kevon Looney today in 2 different salary tiers, separated by 2 points relative to salary. Like, I can move 1 minute and that these guys will be next to each other. I can tell you that Kyrie Irving and Paul George and Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic are the top 4 plays for the day for me. The guys that you should focus on and rotate around. That's the best I can do. All right, Utah. 2 games to go. No Donovan Mitchell. Questionable tag on Ersan Ilyasova. I assume Utah is just going to look like they did. I gave Juwan Morgan minutes last time they went to Mia One, so back to Mia One. But Clarkson 30 minutes seems fine. Ingles 32 minutes seems fine. Conley 32 minutes seems fine-ish. I'll go 31 and 31 actually. Rudy Gobert at 32 minutes though. Against Houston. This could be big. So I think Rudy Gobert is going to look the best here. Yeah, 8K Rudy Gobert on FanDuel I like quite a bit. He would be my favorite Utah Jazz guy. 1.35 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. That's exactly where I have him here in 32 minutes. He does see a little bit more usage when there's no Donovan Mitchell. So get yourself some Rudy Gobert, I guess, today. And let's close this out. Final team, Washington Wizards. And just please be the same rotation as last time. No Rui. Everybody else that's in should be in. 14 minutes to Bonga, need to go to somebody else. But other than that, we're going to be all right. We might actually get out of here right at 8. So let's remove Bonga. Gafford, 18 minutes seems fine. Alex Len, 16 minutes. Rolo, 16 minutes. So they're just playing all 3 of these guys the same. 16, 16, 16. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Great. Good stuff. Bertans, 26 minutes. Actually got to 28, so I'll give him the 28. Denny, 26. I got him at 29. Let's do that. Garrison Matthews, take to 14. Hold on. What's up? Oh. Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. It's in our bedroom. It's on the floor next to my bed. No worries. Pull the door shut. I left laundry in the dryer. What are you going to do? All right. Ish Smith, did he get more minutes? So we saw Neto start. Got 23. Do we think Neto starts again against Golden State? He certainly could. I don't see why he couldn't. So let's take him up to 26. And I've got 5 more minutes that I'm going to actually give to Isak Bonga. And it's not going to matter because the only 2 people that we actually, well, 2.5 people that we actually care to play about for King Hope, Cantor. You do the same thing? All right, Russ looks good on both sites, 10-8 and 10-9. That's where I want to be. Beal for 8,500 on FanDuel still looks like a fantastic play. And Neto at 3,600 on FanDuel, 3,300 on DK. Like, if he's getting the start, that's a value play that doesn't really exist on this slate. So, we're done. We're through it all. Kyrie Irving looks like he's at the top of the heap. Paul George, a close second, but none of that matters. We can run crunches now. 150 people, 100 and something likes. I can't tell, but appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do that. Yeah, I'm not good about it, guys. I'm not good about it. All right, FanDuel Optimal, are we ready? This could be anything. 30 different options. All right, here we go. FanDuel Optimal. Kyrie Irving, Teo Maledon, Paul George, Bradley Beal, RJ Barrett, Joe Harris, Kristaps Porzingis, Maxi Kleber, Goga Batadze. I mean, nothing on there is surprising me outside of Maxi, and I think that's just trying to make it work. You can give 0.5 of a point back. Go to Russ and Kyrie, Paul George and Bullock, Barrett and Harris, Baisley and Pokusevski. So we swap out 2 Mavs for 2 Thunder guys, and we keep Goga. All right. Sure. Power rankings. Well, at the very least, we know who's at the top of the power rankings, and that would be Kyrie Irving. And we know that Paul George is going to be up there in that 2 range, but RJ Barrett climbing higher than I thought he would. And I'm guessing that's just mostly a positional thing because I liked RJ Barrett. He's pretty low there. So yeah, the top of small forward is kind of tough. Like we've got Jimmy Butler at 9,300 at small forward on FanDuel. Next closest guy to him is Bogdanovich at 7,500, who's a bad play at that price. So you're not really paying up at small forward, which means that value becomes a little bit more important. So that's why we see someone like RJ Barrett slightly passing Edwards and Porter. So here we go. Power rankings should be filling out a little nicely, but we knew Kyrie and Paul George were going to be at the top of the heap. Kyrie even like a full step ahead of Paul George. Bradley Beal, RJ Barrett, Andrew Wiggins, Joe Harris, Russell Westbrook, Kristaps Porzingis, Michael Porter Jr., Anthony Edwards, Luka, Steph, Baisley, and Bruce Brown. Final run, Draftkings Optimal, and then we get out of here. I don't know what I did there. Anyway, DK Optimal. We might see 3 lineups that have the exact same projection. It wouldn't shock me. So. Oh, wow. It's a way bigger drop off than I was expecting. Kyrie Irving, Paul George, TLC at the flat minimum. O'Shea Brissett at 3,100. Kevon Looney at 3,800. Curry, Baisley, and Goga is the optimal. 3 sub 4K guys in TLC, O'Shea Brissett, and Kevon Looney. You're paying up for Kyrie, Paul George, and Steph Curry. Stars and scrubs. Big time stars and scrubs. You can give back 1.4 points, which is wild on a 12-game slate. I thought that we would have 3 of them here that were basically the same, and we just don't. Look, TLC is the flat minimum, and by all accounts, the Nets have 8 active bodies. So I don't like it. Trust me. And again, don't confuse optimal lineup for like how frequently you should play somebody. I don't think TLC is going to show up a lot in this optimal lineup crunch, but I guess we're about to find out. Let's test it. Yeah, I didn't think it would get too crazy, and it's not. Goga Batadze right now at the top of the heap on DraftKings. It's just kind of wild. But, I mean, that's what happens when you're a $4,200 starting center. Like, it's just, he's in, it matters. Goga, Kyrie, Andrew Wiggins, Paul George, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, O'Shea Brissett, Kevon Looney, I think, but I don't know if I said it already. The names are moving around more than I thought they would. Russ, TLC, Neto, Wall, DeAndre Jordan, Mike Conley. So there's either guys that are going to be starting in the low 3s. Yeah, Theodore. It's not that TLC is a top play because the different, like if I take 1 minute away from him, he's going to tumble. But I think Brooklyn only has 8 active players. But that's sort of where we stand here. I think the moral of this story is this. Kyrie Irving and Paul George. Kyrie Irving and Paul George are the preferred pay-up options on this slate. It will be pretty easy to get to guys like Luka and Steph, though, if you need to. But Kyrie, Paul George, those are the two guys I have my eye on. That's all we got, guys. 12 games up, 12 games down. That is a monster slate. Strategy show with Laffy and I today. Make sure you go make more coffee because that one's going to take a while. Contenders videos will be out shortly. And then live before lock tonight, myself and Nerd Ass Greg taking you up to it. I think that I'm probably only going to play like a one lineup single entry tonight. I don't want to care about this slate. So I think I'm going to put a single bullet in. Maybe I'll get into the fantasy tournament or something. But this one's not for me. I don't want to manage it. And especially, I don't want to manage it live. If I weren't live tonight, I would play the slate full bore, 150 max. But with 5 games and I'd rather bring you guys a good show. So come catch us live before lock tonight at 6 o'clock. Good luck tonight, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Sign up, UFC 261. Use that promo code. Get our MMA package. It's going to be a fun card on Saturday. I'll probably be in Slack, a little tipsy. So come see me. Rise and grind, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later.